like that. Woo! Not bad to be light skinned, huh?
Whoop that trick, get him, 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 whoop that, get him, whoop that trick, go!
I'm gonna make these suckers recognize I ain't playing ho. If you violate off the top, you gotta go. Out of hell, getting a lot of shit, and I'm about to flip. Now I think it's time to show you bitches who you fucking with. DJ, that's the name, and I came to bring the tank, and I on my chest, got me busting at you lemon lane. You ain't know you fucking with a street nigga from the gutter, pimp type / drug dealer. Born and raised in that Memphis, Tennessee. Before it's said and done, bitches gon' remember me. It's only the beginning. I got a lot to say. It's been a long time, and you got hell to pay. Ain't no love, ho. Just bring it through the door. I fall none, let my nuts hang through the floor. So if you want some, this is your death wish. Better come correct because I came to break you off. Bitch, whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick, whoop that trick, get him, 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 whoop that trick. Woo!
There you go. I like that clap. Woo! Not bad to be light skinned, huh?
Whoop that trick, get him, 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 whoop that trick, go!
I'm gonna make these suckers recognize I ain't playing ho. If you violate off the top, trick, you gotta go. Out of hell, getting a lot of shit, and I'm about to flip. Now I think it's time to show you bitches who you fucking with. DJ, that's the name, and I came to bring the tank, and I on my chest, got me busting at you lemon lanes. You ain't know you fucking with a street nigga from the gutter, pimp type / drug dealer. Born and raised in that Memphis, Tennessee. Before it's said and done, you bitches gon' remember me. It's only the beginning. I got a lot to say. It's been a long time, and you got hell to pay. Ain't no love, ho. Just bring it through the door. I fall none, let my nuts hang through the floor. So if you want some, this is your death wish. Better come correct because I came to break you off. Bitch, whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick, whoop that trick, get him, 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 whoop that trick. Woo!
What's good? What's happening? Oh my goodness, it is Thursday and it feels like Thursday. Let me make sure I got all my sound right. Can everybody see me okay? Let me make sure I got everything handled here. Let me check audio. Yeah. Let me check video. I got a new camera. What's good with everybody? Who's here on Facebook? Who's here on YouTube? Who's here? I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I was doing my workout, and I had a phone call that came in the middle of my workout. I normally ignore those calls, but this one here was very important, so I wanted to take that call, and I finished it up, and I still had a little bit of work to do on myself. And what I mean by that is I still had to finish my workout. I take my health very seriously. So, what's up to some folks out there? I hope you do too. Maybe in 2023, we all will work on our health together. I'll lead the way if you want me to. So, thank you for tuning in. Today is Thursday. I'm going to say what's up to a few people. I'm going to say what's happening. Anthony Prosser, of course, has to come in with some slick ass, shady ass words every time. AP, I mean, your AP is gonna stand for some different shit here in a minute, bro. It's gonna mean always pushing and shit or something, always pushing us. But what he said, and I mean this respectfully, he says, no worries, we expect it from you and E, Wyatt. You don't put me in E's shit. I'll be my own late and for my own reasons. E has his own reasons of doing shit. He has his own reasons of being late or whatever. I never would stoop to the low level of blaming a little bitty baby for me being late and shit. I would never do that. He puts it on the child. He remind me of one of them old ass uncles that blame the kids and shit for him not being successful, not making it one day. See, I had to take care of the family for everybody, mama and them. I had to be the man of the house. Y'all slowed me down. No, we didn't. You wasn't gonna be shit, no way. That's what you have to say to them uncles. What's good with everybody? My apologies for being late. As I said, I had to finish my workout. I was 10 minutes away, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it. What's good with everybody? I think we're gonna have a pretty good show today. I think so. It's a touchy subject. It's something that I've always wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna get into it early because I think we might spend the whole hour or two or whatever, however we go today. I think it'll all go on that. I got a video I want to share with everybody. Some of you may have seen it on my page. Say some will see it for the first time, and it's a Dr. Umar Johnson video. He was on Charlemagne's show, and he was talking about interracial, not dating, but interracial marriages. And I'm gonna give you my take on it. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Now, I'm gonna be honest. If some people ain't gonna like the shit that's you know how I say it. Y'all not gonna like what I say on this. My sisters might be mad. I know my brother's gonna be mad when I say what I say. But you got to live in today's times and see what's going on. I think some valid points were brought up on both ends. But I want to give you my take on it. And I've been around several environments in my life. I've been privileged to live in a multicultural environment where I seen black guys dating white girls and Asians and Hispanics and everything but Jews. I very seldom see, and I don't mean disrespect. They'll cut your ass off in a second. But let me see some. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't read the comments because I got a new feature on Facebook, y'all. Family, I got a new feature. If you notice on Facebook, let me say this real fast. That'll get me away from talking about that Jewish thing. But I got a new feature on Facebook. And basically what it is sending us stars here on Wyatt Live. Anybody familiar with that? Sending stars? It's a way that you support the show. Basically, you can send a 99-cent star or whatever. It's not I'm not getting rich over here doing this shit. Okay. It's just the way that Facebook rates me and they support it. And it's a way that you can support me. And then it gets our algorithms up on Facebook. In other words, they shoot us to so many different places on Facebook once you do stuff like that. Let me see if I have, I want to queue up that video first before I go on because I will forget to do it. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me do that. All right, there it is. And what I'm going to do is play that video here in a minute, but I want to finish doing what I'm doing. Then I'm going to do roll call. but I was privileged enough to live in multicultural environments. When I landed in certain cities, I seen black guys dating white girls. I seen white girls dating um, black guys, obviously, and I've seen a lot of different people that you know black guys were dating when it came down to at a young age when it came down to us stepping outside our race. Dr. Umar Johnson brought up a point, economic. He brought economics to the point, and I want to know from the family here if you feel that his point is valid. I mean, two things can be true at the same time, but I want to know if your thoughts are what his thoughts are, or do you feel that it could be done different, better, or whatever? Does he have a valid point? He absolutely feels like multiracial dating, especially marriage, is an insult. He thinks it's wrong. Him being a Pan African man, he feels that it's wrong, but it's not morally wrong. I think he thinks it's wrong for the race of the people. I don't have a problem with people who think that. I don't have a problem with people who feel like they should be with whoever they want to be, whether it's white, black, Asian, Jewish people, whatever. I don't even have a problem, quite frankly, with homosexuals or LGBTQ and men marrying men and women marrying women. I don't have a problem with that personally. Do I understand it? I understand love, but do I understand the attraction? I think that's where I have to be honest and say I don't have a clue. I don't know why a man finds another man physically attractive. Now, this is just me. Okay. I'm not shitting on that or just making fun of it or any of that. I'm just being 100 about how I feel personally. Now, there's some people that would look at that and think that my not understanding is me shooting shade or me, like making fun or some old crazy shit. But it's a true, honest feel that I have. I don't get it. I don't know why a man would want to have an unnatural. And some people would say, Wyatt, what's natural? Well, what's natural for me is man and woman. That's what's natural to me. And unfortunately, I don't look down on people who have alternative lifestyles like that. I just find it to be something that I just can't understand. And same thing with the ladies. I kind of, what's sad. Can I be honest with you? And this is not going to um go over well, but it's the truth. Like I kind of can tolerate that a little bit more. I, know- I kind of can be like, okay, I get it. She is fine, ain't she? You know what I'm saying? And another lady is like, yeah, but I just can't understand how a man finds another man. And that's just coming from a male. I'm a heterosexual man. I don't understand. Um, what I do understand is the love part. I understand how a person can actually love another person. But I think for the people that are like homophobic, the first thing that jump in their mind is the sexual aspect of homosexuality. Okay. I can't speak for everyone, but if I'm going to be an honest man and be honest as I am every day on this platform, that's the first thing that comes to most heterosexual men's mind is the sexual aspect of a homosexual relationship amongst men. Like we don't get it. Like I ain't understanding it. Um, so I don't even know how I jumped off on that. I just wanted to kind of protect the my feelings towards it so you would have a clear understanding of how I feel. I don't like discriminate. I don't feel like the government should tell people that they can't get married. I don't feel that way. I feel like people should be with whoever the hell they want to be with. And I think that goes for both, you know, the LGBT community and as well as races. I think that people should be with whoever they want to be with. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of my perspective on the mixed marriage situation. Um, as I said, like growing up downtown, growing up where I grew up, there was no relationships because there were no white people around. We had one white family, the Matthiases. If anybody remember that down the way, I hope y'all can hear me okay. The Matthiases, Joey and Joey and Joe and Dave and all the Matthiases. It was like 4 or 5 brothers and they had one sister. That was it. That was it. And then you might see one other little, white dude that was, whatever, or whatever. You just didn't see many white people in the neighborhood. So there was not that many interracial relationships. So we only knew one another. You only had a little girlfriend. Our girlfriends traveled. We might have had one that lived somewhere in another black neighborhood, but we didn't have a lot of integration in the city of Cincinnati when I was a child. It just wasn't going on. But now let me tell you what happens. Some don't understand, and my sisters, you have to understand something. I think you've been off base with a few things in life about brothers who end up with white ladies, white women. There is this thing that y'all like to do, that people like to do, in shaming people for their decisions or their beliefs. It's not fair. Okay. What you end up doing is you say, to either make yourself feel good and to make that person feel bad about his decision, you say, and some black men say it too because they've been taught this, y'all think that black men get with white ladies because it make them feel accomplished. It make them feel like they bigger than who they really are or whatever. That right there is a degrading way of thinking as far as I'm concerned. And I know some of the biggest doctors in the world. I think Dr. Umar Johnson says that. He thinks that black men get with white women because it makes them feel accomplished, complete. And I don't agree with that. I think what happens is exactly what I told some sisters about 2 years ago on Wyatt Live, and that is brothers just aren't afraid to explore, try something different. They're not afraid of the public perception, just not afraid to do it. And when they end up trying it, let's just say a kid who's been living in a black neighborhood his whole life, go off to school. He just has more to pick from. That's what it is. Now you want him to pick what you want him to pick, but you're not living in his world. You're not living in his world. He now has way more options than you do. So he chooses something different than he's accustomed to. And for some odd reason, I don't understand why it ever came down to the point of, us feeling like the reason why that brother chose a white woman is because it made him feel complete. Well, then what did it make the white woman feel like? Do you understand what I'm saying? What about the sisters that end up with white guys? Do they feel inferior? Do they feel stronger and better than us? I think not. I think they took that step and explored love in different places. I don't agree with the inferior, like it makes us, and when I say us, I'm saying black men. I don't think dating outside your race makes you feel like you're better. I think what happens is you might get an experience of something that you've never had before. And I don't mean sexual and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you had to read some of the comments that came on the post that I put out, and you listen to people. I think Marcus Jenkins put an answer behind the post. I said, leave comments. And his comment was for someone that thinks like he's thinking. And that is, well, black women, if they wouldn't have to worry about black men leaving if they treated their black men better. See, that's his experience. I don't necessarily agree with that, Marcus, but I do agree with the fact that men might go out and try different experiences because it might make them feel different in different ways. The understanding, like he said in his post, maybe the woman that he's with, the brother is with, just makes him feel different as a man. So I'm gonna read a couple comments because y'all kind of know where I'm at with this. I just think it's wrong for us to because I could use a whole lot of examples of black women that are definitely successful and they end up with white men. And do you think it's the same reason for all these years that you've been saying that black men take on, white women? I don't know if that's it. Y'all, y'all cheered and climbed over backwards for the sister that's on to the Supreme Court. Y'all was all you forgot all the shit you used to say about brothers, OJ and all of them. Y'all was laughing at OJ running through airports and all that old shit, and then talked about him because he had a white wife. And then when the world starts turning and spinning a little bit more, and you got sisters out here going outside the race and getting Asian men and white men and stuff like that, I just don't hear the same energy from y'all about it. It seemed like brothers got criticized for all these years. They make all these millions of dollars in the NBA and football and all that old shit, and you give them the blues because of the environment they've entered. They have more of a choice. And I just don't see the same energy when I look at Kamala Harris, when I look at the Supreme Court justice. I don't see that same energy. Y'all say, you know what y'all did? Y'all changed y'all tune and was like, oh shit, people gonna love who they gonna love. That's what y'all turned it into. A little hypocritical, because for years you heard about, and brothers did it too, sisters. I'm not just saying just you. So let me read a couple of the comments, then I'm gonna play the video that I have and go from there. I don't really want to talk all day. I'm obviously not really in the mood, but we gonna do this, and maybe the power will kick in. Let me say what's up to some people first real fast. It won't take long. What's good? Joe Widow's in the house. What's good, bro? Miss Pittsburgh is in the building. What's happening with you? Steven Speed Rome is in the building. Anthony Prosser, I ain't even gonna say nothing, bro. You done made your sly remark today. Jason Dockery is in the building. What's up, bro? Brenda Early is here. She says, happy Thursday, y'all. Linda Matthews, what's good? Linda, I got your DM. I'll be getting in touch with you soon. Sorry, I was doing a couple things when I got it, and then I had my workout, and then I got the phone call. Then it was time to do the show. I couldn't reach back out, sis, but I will reach out. I promise you. Let's see here. Mike Ward, what's good, brother? Long time no see, brother. I don't know if you've been in the back of the classroom and just ain't jumped in all the way, or you been here and just been on some low shit. I don't know. Terry Anderson, what's good? Lewis Johnson, what's up, CK? Latora Gooden, what's good, PC? Cleopatra Jones, what's happening? Tiffany Daniels, what's good? I think this will be a good conversation for you, us, Black privilege. Brenda Harris, she says up. Sabrina Calloway, what's good, Queen? Krista Wilwright, what's going on? What's happening, Sandbox? Angela Kenny, what's good with you? Kevin B. Phillips, what's good with you, brother? This might be good down your alley as well. I'd love to hear your input. Stephanie Hyde, what's happening, Queen? What's going on, cousin? What's buzzing, cousin? That's the old way of saying it. What's buzzing, cousin? That's my cousin. Let's see here. Mary Ann Lou, what's good? She's in Vegas, y'all. What's happening in Vegas? I know it's nice and hot up there. Let's see here. Somebody else said hi to somebody. Thea Williams, what's good, sis? What's happening with you? She said, hello, everyone. I'm glad I'm able to join. I'm glad that you're okay. I hope you're okay, sis. I know you've been having some issues. Did you cut your finger or something? That's like, oh my God, that's detrimental to a hairstylist. You can't mess up the hands. Why didn't you bump your toe on some shit? You know what I'm saying? Bump your toe or something. Spring your ankle or some shit. Don't mess with the hands. Got to keep the hands straight. Damn it. You got to protect that gold. You know what I mean? Start moving your feet first or something. Keep your hands out of everything. Lewis Johnson says, Black women with their natural hair are the best. Facts over feelings. I agree. I like that. I'm glad you said that, CK. Let me tell you something that I just seen. Partner's wife of mine, a partner whose wife comes on here. She comes on here sometime. Y'all know Nikki, right? That's my partner's wife. My partner Greg Lawrence from down the way. Nikki came on. Let me see, what was it? Facebook, and put a post out, excuse me. And in that post, it says, it had hearts all over it. And she said, my daughter showed us, she was speaking about her daughter. She said, my youngest daughter looks so beautiful with her natural hair. and none of those extended eyebrows or some shit like that. And that's my post, and that's what I got to say about it. That's what she said on the post, and it had hearts all over it. I love the post. I even put a heart on it, and then I made a comment on it, and I said, "Wow, this is the post that I've been wanting to put out for the longest, but I've been afraid to do it because I didn't want to get Facebook jumped." Y'all know if I would have said, if a man say that shit, women get sensitive about that, the extended hair, fake hair, and wigs and shit like that, extended eyebrows and shit like that. I'm not much of a fan of any of that personally, but I've been wanting to put that out because I like my beautiful sister, my beautiful daughters being natural. I really like that. So I'm glad she put that out, and I was able to make my little comment, and it completed me. Now I feel like I've put something in the environment, in the public about, extensions and hair and all that old type of stuff. I don't look down on it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not much of a fan of it. It's not that I feel bad or look down on anyone. I'm not a fan of it. And I think that our little sisters, our little girls in our, in our community need to feel good about who they are and what they are, their natural beauty. You do realize there's people getting injections, and I don't mean ass injections, I mean facial injections to get the features of a black woman. And I think you all should front that shit. That's me personally. If you got big lips, damn it, enjoy them, love them. People are buying, they're spending money to get these lips. Like me, I got big lips. I love them. I remember seeing, and here's a true story, and y'all know this to be true. I don't know if I'm probably gonna get a little flack for this one. Okay. But let me just say this. The difference between white women and black women when it come down to lips, it's like this. Black women used to put this, and I used to watch my mom and them do it. Y'all would put lipstick on and reduce the size of your lips. I would see the black trim in the middle of the lips and then the lipstick, and you got all this leftover lip out here that ain't been covered by anything because you're trying to reduce the size of your lip. And then the opposite for white women. I would watch y'all put a lip go damn near all the way up to your nose and shit, down to your chin, trying to give you extended lips. It's like, I just never understood it. It was the funniest shit I observed in my life. And what I'm saying to my sisters is, look, people are trying to be like you. They're trying to look like you're natural. They're spending money to be your natural. And I don't understand why you won't front that natural. Keep that natural. That natural is expensive, but it's free to you. So that's just, I love the fact that my daughters can be natural, and that's what I'm looking for, and I think sisters have every natural, and this is not saying anything bad about white people or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I just think that black women are the ideal of what everybody's trying to be today. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I mean that complimentary. And some people are just, they're just trying to catch up with you. And what's funny is I watch I, I've watched hairstyles. I've watched people I've watched people I've watched white girls try to get afros and crazy shit, and then y'all go buy wigs that are straight and white girl type styles. It's just it baffles me. It baffled me to see that shit. Like I just don't get it. But that's beside the point. I mean what I say out of love. I think that black folks have unbelievable features. And I'm watching Vogue, I'm watching all these magazines create the black feature and charge for it. And sisters, let me ask you something. Y'all gonna think I'm jumping your ass. I'm really not. Speaking of asses, stop getting ass implants. It's not necessary. You're built the way you're supposed to be built. It's a dangerous procedure. It's dangerous in a whole lot of different ways. Medically, it's dangerous, and you're not going to get out of it what you think you want. If a man is making you feel better because you got an ass, and some people are going to say, well, I don't do it for a man. I'm not doing it for a man. Okay. So all the little girls and the women that are on these TikToks and shit, they are all doing these ass shots. Y'all know what I say. You know how they be in the bathroom taking them ass shots. They all doing that for each other, right? Well, I understand. I understand, Athea. I get it. I think you're misunderstanding where I'm going with it. She said it's nobody's business. She says, where it went by so fast. I'm sorry. Let me get to it. She says, where is it? Where is it? Damn, Mike, what's good? Bro, you wrote a book up there. Okay, there it is. She says, it is not nobody's business what people do to enhance their bodies. Okay. Maybe you're right. But coming from a brother, I thought I'd give my opinion. It's an opinionated show. I thought I would let Black women know that you're unbelievably beautiful and you don't need the things that people are buying to look like you. You don't need it. You already got it. People sitting in the sun killing themselves to look like you. I'm just saying. You know, they're going to these tanning salons and they're spray painting bronze on their body. Think about that. So now let me play this video. I'm sorry. I skipped over some names, not on purpose. It's just the shit is moving so fast. I couldn't really get to it. Kim Moore Eberhardt, she says, good evening to everybody. Jessica Vaughn, what's good? Kevin B. Phillips, what's good, brother? If I missed your name, my apologies. Like I said, this is moving by. So Davis Ty, what's good with you, bro? Angela Kinney says, a woman can't even see her own ass without taking great effort to do so. I got to read that one slow to get it, Angela. He says, a woman can't even see her own ass without taking great effort to do so. Ah, okay. I think I get it. See, you got to think about it sometime. Stephanie Hyde says, I agree. God gave us what we wanted what he wanted us to have. Be thankful. I think I agree with Athea. I think it's nobody's business what people do, but I think that some people need to hear the appreciation of who they are when they're natural. I think I love when people, you know, I love it when sisters actually show who they really are and be that. I mean, I'm okay with that. Cleopatra Jones says, some Black women suffer from low self-esteem and not good enough. That is why they're alter their bodies. Maybe so, but I don't, you know, I can't blame low self-esteem on everything, but I will say it does have a lot to do with being accepted. You know, I think it does have a lot to do with being accepted. Let's take a phone call real fast. Let me see if I can get this in. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
This is Miss Williams. How are you, Wyatt?
Hey, how you doing, Anthea? What's going on, sis? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. You sound a little dry today.
I know.
And I still need the tea because we should not hear on somebody else's podcast about you and your major moves. So you keep on sick. We'll give you to Monday. We'll give you to Monday on that.
Wait a minute. What major move? I don't understand.
But look, that's what I know. That's what we heard.
I don't know anything about a major move. Who told you that?
E-Man. I keep telling you that. You keep trying to ignore it.
You're going to keep on listening to E-Man. You're going to keep on listening to Emmanuel. Yo, Emmanuel, how you stand?
There you go say, I'm gonna have to get on him telling my business.
Yeah,
I'm
because
cracking up like you too much.
Well, because he created it. And here's the thing: I had a conversation with my brother, and I told him that I wasn't gonna be able to do the show because I'm hanging out with the family. It's my daughter's birthday. I'm doing the thing in Florida, and I'm going over to the office that I'm opening up a new office in St. Pete, Florida. Okay, and I just
yeah.
Huh?
I said, okay.
Yeah,
Opening up a new office, is that what it was?
Yeah, but that wasn't. I didn't tell him like, hey, like keep this on the low, bro. You know, like
But
don't
that's
tell.
amazing. Why we had to hear about that at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock from somebody else? I was like, oh no, I couldn't wait till 5 o'clock.
Because it's not really something that like it's not something that I got several offices throughout different places. I mean,
well, we proud of you.
Thank you. But I ain't never really came out and was like, you know what I'm saying, sis, like, hey, I just opened another office. I don't really do it like that. I just continue to do what I do and say what I say,
Right.
but I don't really tell people like, you know, that type of, you know, I don't put them in my mix like that. You know what I'm saying? I always say, hey, you know, we moving, we doing things, but that's about it. I'm not going to, you know.
Well, that's still amazing. It's still amazing. And I was teasing. I think it was Anthony Foster was on there, and I made a comment. He was like, "Oh, he ain't tell y'all." Well, I guess I won't tell y'all.
Oh, he don't know shit either. He don't know shit either. You know, people be always wanting to be in the know. Don't listen to APRE. But boy, look, they had, hey, boy.
Yes, but I only called in because the comment was, well, it could be taken however, but I was saying I don't think it's anybody's business for anybody to be worried about what people does to enhance their body. But it was just kind of like the same thing instead of just putting all this text in there because I know it goes so fast you can't read it all.
Yeah.
I was saying pretty much like when you said the women start getting hair. People do get these extensions, but it causes like alopecia.
Mm-hmm.
It causes what you call tension alopecia.
Yeah.
And some people are born with genetic alopecia.
Yeah.
So either or, you have to cover that up because it's embarrassing, or you may feel like somebody's staring at it all the time, or it makes you feel more comfortable.
I get it.
So when people do body enhancement, it makes them feel more comfortable. So it's really not for someone else, it's for themselves, like to make themselves feel good.
Yeah,
so that's what I was saying
in some cases.
I'm pretty sure they know about the health risk because they go through all that before getting it done, you know. But
yeah, in some cases,
people, and then it's not for others.
In some cases, in some cases, you're right. It's a lot of cases. There's medical reasons, like you said, the alopecia.
Yeah,
there's medical reasons that you do this, but I think what I was talking about was more of the makeup end of it. And I'm not talking about the medical end where you're getting cut. I wasn't even talking about the fake butts and stuff like that. I don't really get into those type of conversations, sis. I'm just looking at the fact that how we live in a world where my sisters are doing something that's really not even like you're doing way more. Like I got daughters, and I just don't like when they have to put these big ass caterpillars on their eyes. You know, they're not right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Sometimes we go way too far with it.
All that is a form of art. So even I wear lashes and sometimes go more dramatic. Sometimes I do more, smaller, shorter, thinner, natural looking. So it just gives you a variety. And Black women can do that. Like we will switch up so quickly where we can go from an afro to being straight,
but let me ask you this
into long, and I think that's one of the best things that we have is.
But let me ask you this, sis.
Back to, I'm sorry.
My apologies. Go ahead.
As far as you saying enhancements, the only reason why I said that is because there are people that's born with cancer, have cancer cells, and they have to get their breasts removed. But now they're going to get more into breast implants.
Sis, nobody going down to Dr. Miami talking about I got cancer and all that old shit. You know these girls spending their money on different shit. You know that.
What I'm saying is when you change your body, it's for you. It's for you, regardless if it's with on fixing something that was medical, which could be cancer, or if you feel like your breast is too small or too big. People get breast reduction, and I'm a woman that have been top heavy my whole life, so I do search into like, what would it be just to get them removed because it's trouble on your back, things like that. So that's why I felt like it was more a personal opinion for the person who's actually getting it, and then their spouse or whomever, so that's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to be smart.
No, I knew. That's why I said I agree with you. You heard me. Did you hear me say that? I said I kind of agree with what you're saying. It's nobody's business. I'm just saying that these natural looks that my sisters have, people
Mm-hmm.
are buying that to look like you. And I just
Yeah.
think that if we were to stay natural, you are setting the tone of what you guys are, the trendsetters of fashion. Everybody's
And
trying
I
to
agree.
be.
Remember, I said that on your show before.
Yeah.
I said even transgenders from whatever race, gay men, they want to look like a
Everything is full.
Everything.
Everything
I
is
have said that before, and I agree with that.
everything
Yeah,
is
but
full
that's why I
figured.
said, I just think it's a little bit more, personal. So if you did say that, then my apologies. But
Yeah, I just think that it's everything is full figured. Everybody wants the nice figured lips. Everybody wants to figure, and then there's a lot of people in our race that try to reduce these things. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was a very insecure thing for a lot of Black people growing up, having the nose
yeah.
that we have, having the lips that we have. That was known. We were having insecurities for those things that are what we should have seen as blessings, because you really got people taking skin and or fat out of their asses and putting it in their lips to look like you. You understand what I'm saying?
And
Imagine that.
you gotta take account for the men of today. I don't recall hearing a man say whether I'm out. I'm out a lot. I just never heard a man say, "Whoa, she looked like she got a good brain on her." Men, they are fascinated with the entertainment industry, and some women are feeling like that's what men want to see, or
Right. And so and sis, I'm gonna say this
it's
is
hard.
I'm gonna say
You're
this
not
is
out in the world like that, as
but I'm gonna say
searching
this.
for somebody, as a single person. So it's just different what they call beauty now. And
But you know what you just
it's
did?
weird.
You know what
It's
you
a
just
weird game out here.
you know what you just did? You just kind of contradicted your whole point of saying that a woman does it for a woman when you say that what
No,
men
I
really
said
like.
some. I said some.
And that's
Because
what I
we
was
do have
saying.
people out here with medical issues, and I said it's kind of the same thing. If a woman don't think her breasts are full enough, she's going to go get them done, and that has nothing to do with cancer. But you also have cancer patients that had her breasts removed, like, oh no, I still want to feel like a woman. I want breasts.
I
So
understand.
regardless the reason, that's why I said it's her business.
I
So I'm
understand.
not contradicting myself. I'm just saying it's the same thing if they're not feeling how they feel like they want to look
I
as a
understand.
woman.
Trust me. I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. But I think that we see more people out here not necessarily trying to stay to the standard because of their health reason. I think that those that need to wear extensions for alopecia or
Mhm.
chemo, I'm not talking to those people. I'm not talking to those
I
people at
love
all.
hair.
And to be
I
honest
love
with you,
hair. I love it short,
I-
long,
let me
curly,
just say this,
straight.
and let me just say this to you, sis. I I really like women that hairstyles that are short on ladies as well. And I'm not talking about it
Mhm.
always have to be that old school Holly Berry type cut. I'm just talking
Yeah.
now. I'm not talking about. I'm not a real big woman with the ball fade type of thing. I'm not really feeling that. But I love
Okay.
women that have a structured cut some kind of way. And
Uh-huh.
I like that. I don't think that all women have to have hair going down their back looking like Susie or some shit like that. I just think that, and I love ladies that have the clean braids and the clean the clean afro, the clean braids. I mean, that's just something that I think that women look great at when they rock it. I really do. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And there's a lot of men out there like that love the natural, regardless if it's they just like their hair. Even
yeah.
my husband, I will say that he loves when I wear my natural hair. He embraces it more. He'll compliment it more and
See,
everything.
you might want to pay attention to that, sis. I mean, I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
I'm not, that's my brother. I'm,
Oh, I do.
you know what I'm saying? Like
It's just difficult for me, and I have a very busy lifestyle, and being natural is not easy.
I know.
It's
I know.
It's hard to maintain, but you have to do it. And I appreciate him saying he likes it, but at the time I may be feeling something different.
I got you. Well, sis, I'm gonna move on. I got other phone calls coming. I
Okay.
appreciate you. Hey,
Okay,
but
you
I did.
have a great evening, and congratulations on your new location.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate you. Nothing but love. Tell
Okay,
my brother I
bye-bye.
said what's up. All right. All right. I missed a couple calls. Let me explain something to you guys real fast. I only have one phone line. So when people are calling, I only can answer one at a time, and it'll go over to the voicemail or kick over or whatever. Let me take this other call real fast. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What up, Wyatt? Good evening. It's your man MW.
Oh, Mike Ward, what's good with you, brother? What you doing, man? What's happening?
I just made it in from work. What's going on with you? How you
I'm
been
chilling,
doing?
man. I'm good. How about yourself? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's on your mind tonight, Mike? What's happening, brother?
I'm all right. I was calling to piggyback on that interracial conversation
Okay.
you started with.
Let's get at it, because that's what we're going to next.
Well, what's crazy is Steve Harvey was just talking about that same thing down in Atlanta.
Really?
A couple days ago.
Okay. What'd he say?
And he was just speaking. He was just speaking of saying that today's black women just don't see the black man the same way the women seen the black man 20 years ago.
Really? That's
Meaning,
interesting.
Like, if a white woman, they saying white women, from what he said white women nowadays just accept brothers for where they at and who they are, which was the old tradition we came from, where if a guy was a decent guy and was doing decent by himself, may not have been rich or whatever, and was just a decent guy, the women dated them men. You feel me? Today, them men ain't even the men our women even look at.
Could it be that our women, and this is not going to sound right, but if you really think about what I'm saying, just give it a minute to sink in. Don't let it, not you, Mike. I'm talking to some different people out here. Could it be that our women are a lot more qualified in this world now, economically, than they were back then? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like when you got women that are graduating college,
like back when me and you was growing up, most of the women that we grew up around were women that was, say, if she was a school teacher and he was a county worker, he was a little bit better off than her. So she accepted that guy because she knew where he was at. Today's women got 6, 7, like Steve Harvey said, today's women got 6, 7 master's degrees. The average guy got maybe 1 or a trade skill. You know what I mean?
Dig that.
And he was saying that still don't disqualify that guy. She said because the potential that the black woman don't see in the brothers today, the white women seeing that potential in them guys, and them women investing in them guys. And I can speak honestly for a couple partners of mine that date outside the race, but were certain guys 15 years ago, they pretty powerful men because that white woman invested into him like the black women did 20, 25 years ago. You get what I'm saying?
I understand clearly. I understand. You know what? There's a lot of truth into that. A lot of people won't really want to admit to that. But what happens is, like I said, I got a female friend of mine who's a doctor down in Atlanta, and she, y'all don't know her name or anything, so I don't mind saying this, but she makes well over, she makes close to $300,000 a year. And she always tell me that she has a problem finding someone that is meeting her criteria. And she wants to date a brother, but she just can't find a brother that's meeting her criteria. And I'm sure part of that criteria is trying to get up to that $300,000 a year mark.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? She don't want to. She don't.
You even slicker than that.
Okay.
There's women here that I call it like local people that don't even make 70, 80,000, but they treat guys nowadays like they making that type of money. The old lady, the lady you talking about, me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I find that kind of hilarious because.
Well, let me ask you this though, Mike. We just put it on the women. Let me ask you, what about the brothers that end up with what Dr. Umar Johnson calls snow bunnies? He says we have a snow bunny crisis. He says that the most successful, I haven't played the video yet, but in the video, I'm going to do a spoiler real fast. He says in the video, he says that, our successful black men are ruining, pretty much destroying our race, because the successful black men who make the upshalant money are not marrying within their race, and they're passing that money on generationally through a mixed, it's going back to her people.
Right.
It's not.
I understand that point too. Then the brothers that say, I'm gonna use you for an example. The guys that's where you at, that's pretty well off, they going through the same thing the sisters go through. Most sisters nowadays, even if you got some money, you got to still, like Steve Harvey say, prove too much to her friends, her family, all that status quo stuff. So guys, like, if I got 300,000 coming in a year and I got to go through that to date a black woman that may not even be having 150, you get what I'm saying? Why should I? You get what I'm saying? That's what's going on with the black man with a lot of money. He looking at it the same way the sisters do. Like, if she gonna take me through all that and she really ain't where I'm at, then I might well go over here and do this. At least, you get what I'm saying? You're gonna get a different little experience or whatever.
I understand. And I think that you know, I think black women have been more, and this, people aren't gonna like what I'm saying, but I think it's the truth. Black women have been more committed to the black race when it comes to dating and marriage than the black man has. It's pretty much evident to me. And I think that's what Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about. I'm not really a fan of his on this particular topic, but I can be honest enough to tell you that there's some truth in what he's saying when it comes down to keeping the economics within your race.
Within your race, right?
I get it.
Like me personally, I would tell the world. I mean, personally, you've been knowing me for over 25, 30 years. I love my black sister. Yeah. I'm not given the opportunity and chance to no other woman but that woman. You get what I'm saying?
I understand.
But I done educated myself a little bit to understand and what they call sympathize with the people that make those decisions. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, I know some brothers that was in certain places 15, 20 years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and got with the right mixture. And these guys is, when I say booming, they booming. Even though that woman is white or I'm even use this, or Latino, or what other word I'm use? Asian or whatever. Right. You get what I'm saying? Them guys are booming because them women are accepting the purity of that man like our grandmothers and them did back in the day. You get what I'm saying about it?
I understand, but I think what happened is today's woman is a little bit more qualified to just deal with anything. Back in our grandmother's days, they were committed to just sticking with Earl and them. Earl come home drunk, Earl come home kick the dog, Earl come home beat her ass, Earl come home and do all this wild shit. And I think women are just like, you know, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have 2 daughters. I'm raising them to be not necessarily independent, and I'm not raising them to be miserable, because you raise them
to be self-sufficient. Where they don't have to need no motherfucking man. Excuse my language.
No, I understand, but you got to understand. I don't want to raise them to the point where they're going to grow up miserable and all they do is just be successful economically, you know, on a job. I have to. That's the importance of having a husband and a father and a mother in a home.
Active right in front of you, moving
exactly.
a certain way.
You got to be able to show them how the engine works. It's you know, and that's just part of it. It's part of the whole process. A lot of us are skipping so many points. See, Mike, I'm gonna say something because I got some viewers here, and I want this to be said. I want this to be said. So people can understand where I'm coming from. This is what I mean when I say women can't raise sons, because you can't teach a man how to be a man. You can't teach a man how to stay committed to a woman. You can't do that, especially if you don't even have anybody. Now I know that just fucks some people all the way up.
You just said mouthful with that, bro.
Well, what I'm saying to you is you are setting an example. What happens is when single mothers have sons, I'm a product of it, bro. Okay. She taught me how to have somebody like her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody that take care of all their own shit and this and this and this and that. Somebody that don't really need me as a man. Right. I'm with an independent black a woman who's not teaching me how women should be. She's teaching me how she has to be.
Right.
Do you understand? Has to hold everything down. And that's why so many of our women are out here taking care of everything, and they're wondering why they don't have a man. And it's because their mama didn't raise a man. Mama raised somebody to live with them like they your mama. And that's what a lot of people don't really understand. They don't get that. It's a hard conversation to have. Now,
and we got another topic on that. And I'm learning this as I've been moving a little bit lately. You get me? It's so many women that's raised in homes also before they meet us, where they don't see no good man or no man treating their mama a certain way. They have no idea, no whole engine, like you said, of how a man should even be even towards them.
Mike, it
And a
worked
lot
both
of them
ways.
became
You're right.
so familiar with that to where they now like, shit, I don't need no man, cool. But they don't understand that you do need a good man, and a good man ain't always financially. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You know, that's one of the
what I mean?
things that kill me. That's one of the things that kill me right there when women say there are no good men out here. I've always had that's a pet peeve of mine when they say that, but yet they always looking in all the same places. I don't know how many of you have actually checked check the library or check the computer lab or check some university campus or go to lunch, go have lunch somewhere in the business district. Don't stop meeting dudes in spots where they got baby mamas that used to go there and shit like that. I'm just saying, I'm speaking not to a specific group of people. I'm just speaking as a bride, just saying this out loud. We tend to think that we're gonna get a different outcome by doing the same shit, and you just never gonna get that. And I can only say so much because I've been blessed to be in a relationship with my wife since look, bro, we started with Little Caesars together. You feel me?
Man, I know I love y'all.
Yeah, exactly. I've known you for 25, 30 years of my life, bro. And I was there when you was going through your things. You see what I'm saying? So I've always preached the same thing, young man, even when things were different when we were younger.
When you and Nick was running at the shoe store.
Yeah,
it's always been the same.
I've always said this is what we need to do. We gotta look. I tell my daughters this all the time, Mike. I say, if you're gonna date a young man, it's okay to have fun, but it has to have some purpose. Look for certain things. You got to get to know people before you start doing intimate things, because those intimate things can change your life forever. And I said on the show the other day, I said, we got to stop having kids with people we don't love. If you're having kids with people you don't love, that non-love transfers to our children. It's hard to love somebody. It's hard to love a child when you don't love the mama. Okay, y'all can say whatever you want to say.
Can I speak on that?
Absolutely.
I got kids, and I got 3 of them in that same situation. But being raised by a grandmother that chose to love me, I was her son's child. It taught me to get past it. Like, okay, even though me and her ain't this, I still got to love my child. I still got to produce and be productive for my child.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I learned that from being being adopted by my grandparents. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I wasn't primarily hers and my grandfather's, but my grandmother loved and took care of me the same way she did my aunts and uncles and my father. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, so Mike,
at that point,
I'm ready to play this video, brother. So I'm gonna get off this line with you right now, man. And
man, it's always a pleasure.
Nothing but love, brother. Hey, man, I am so proud of you.
Have a blessed holiday.
Mike,
blessed year.
I am so proud of you. You come a long way, brother, from sitting in my office to having your own office. You understand what I'm saying to you, brother?
Right.
And it's nothing but love over here. I really appreciate you as a grown ass man handling this business today.
All I say to you, man, is I never forget that conversation, and I say it every time I talk to you, man. Stop being a business product. And it's been over almost 20 years, man. And
I remember that
day. It saved my life, dog.
I appreciate you. I remember telling you that 20 years ago, and I tell every brother that come in there that I talk to, and I take it personal, and I say we got to stop being the product.
Stop being a product.
That's right. You know what it is. Nothing but love, young brother. All right.
Yes,
love you.
Yep.
All right. I think it's time to get to the video now. We Crystal Wilright said, I'm still waiting on an apology. Who you waiting on an apology from? Oh, okay, sorry. James King, what's good, brother? I noticed that you left the Wyatt Live Messenger group. I hope we didn't say something, King, to blow you away out of there, because I respect you, young man. You're another one that I've been following, and I've watched you go from a warehouse, young man, to your own thing, an independent brother. And I know how you used to act when I come over to that warehouse and I would see you and talk to you, and you know how it is. And you and your wife, young man, are a perfect example of how we need to be moving out here. You became business owners, and you went from that warehouse you was working to an independent person. And brother, I'm gonna tell you, I look up to people that do it like that. That's how we need to be moving as individuals. So peace to you, King. Let me read this. He might have cussed me out on his comment. I don't know yet. Let me find it. He says, facts. Wyatt, we have to stop having babies, especially when we don't love them. Yeah, I mean, you know what? People gonna misunderstand. I'm glad you understood what I was saying. People can misunderstand what I'm saying, but I'm gonna tell y'all this right here, and this is the God honest truth. I'm a product of being a child from a 14 and a 15 or 14 and a 16-year-old parent. How does my father love me when he's never been in my life? How am I supposed to take that you always loved me or you care about me when you were 16 and my mama was 14? I miss that. I miss that. And you got to understand that plays a part in how I became a man. It played a huge part. 14-year-old woman, girl can't raise no man. Me and my mama raised each other. I was fortunate enough to have another woman in my life, which was my grandmother. But what I'm saying to us is this. If you are having babies with people that don't love you, the chances of that person that has a child with you ain't gonna love that child. They love it like, oh yeah, that's my baby and I'm proud. And there's a difference between being proud and actually loving. You can be proud of your child and buy them some tennis shoes. Y'all know what I'm saying. And you could, and this ain't no white or black thing. This is just a thing. I'm saying that if you're gonna have children, stop having children with people that you don't love. And brothers, yeah, I said that to the sisters, but now let me say this to the brothers. Stop fooling these sisters. If you're not gonna do right by her, don't even deal with her. If you're not gonna treat her right, don't fuck with her. Because you're not doing yourself any good. Stop playing with these ladies out here. Stop having babies with these women and you don't love the woman because you ain't gonna love that child. And then you're gonna be tripping when she got your ass down at the child support. Stop it. Stop fucking with these emotions of these women. Children are too precious for you to be acting like that with these kids. It's definitely a repercussion in store when you don't do what you're supposed to do as a man, and buying shit for them and getting them on the weekend and all this old goofy shit is not being a parent. I'm just going to be here to tell you, y'all can hate me all you want to for telling this truth. Ain't nobody else going to tell you. But a little boy needs a father to wake up in the middle of the night to check on him, not no mama all the time. A little girl need to hear somebody in the house with some bass in their voice. And for my brothers down out here who they call stepdaddies, there is no such thing as a stepdaddy. Okay? There's no stepped in daddy. The only time you a stepped in daddy is when the father of that child just died by God's will. However he died. Now you a step-in daddy. Outside of that, if it's a daddy that just left, daddy that had a baby with the mama, he ain't love her, so he can't love the other child, all that old shit, you're not a stepdaddy. If you taking care of a child, you that kid's father. You that kid's father. There's no such thing as a stepdaddy unless that kid's daddy passed away and you stepping in. But fellas, listen, stop having these babies with women. If you don't love the woman, stop thinking you're going to love that child. And I could really just be speaking for me, right? I'm the only little motherfucker on here that feel like his daddy, who was never around, he really loved me. He just wasn't around. He stayed in jail. He did all this. If he really loved me, he wouldn't have been going to jail. If he really loved me, loved my mama, he would have found a way to be with us. Oh, ladies, I forgot. You do hold some responsibility into this shit, right? Stop having babies with men you don't love. Stop it. Stop having babies with men you don't love, thinking they gonna do something good for you. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the answer, Wyatt? You always talking that one shit. What's the answer? There you got it. There you got it. I'm set up on a STARS program. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate it. Let me play this video if you guys don't mind. I was reading a couple of the comments as I was talking, but I'm gonna play this video and I want to know if Dr. Umar Johnson is on to something here, or are we past this way of thinking? Are we past now? This is gonna sound crazy and shit. Are we as Black folks reserved? Are we thinking that like should we be worried about the Black culture and the economic growth of the Black culture? Are we past that? Should we just be all Americans? Should we just be Americans and love who you want to love? Build bank accounts and build wealth with whoever the hell you want to build wealth with. Who you gonna pass it down to? You know, who you gonna pass it down to? Are you worried about if you die and you in an interracial relationship? Are you worried about the white side of the family getting all your money? Are you really worried about that? I'm just curious. Let's watch this video by Umar Johnson. He was on Charlemagne's show, and I want to know how y'all feel about this. A lot of people have been waiting on this one. Let me see if I got it queued up.
You know, Dr. Umar, you have a term called the snow bunny crisis.
Yes, sir.
Is this indeed a snow bunny crisis?
Absolutely. This is the snow bunny crisis on steroids.
Okay.
Because it's adultery involved.
Okay. What is the snow bunny crisis exactly?
The snow
Is it
bunny
kind of like
crisis,
bird flu? What's going on?
I would say in the African American community is worse than bird flu.
Okay.
The snow bunny crisis speaks to a tendency of educated, well-placed, successful Black men to date outside of the Black community and more likely to date within the white community. Now, most Black men are married to Black women. I want to be clear. However, Black men date outside of their community more than the men of every other community put together, which obviously has drastic consequences for the Black community when you're looking at single motherhood, a lack of viable men in the community in terms of leadership and mentorship. So not only are you dating out the race, you're taking away resources from our community, i.e. your bank account, your retirement, your 501, your 401k, and everything else, because when you transition and women live longer than men, you're taking all this wealth from the Black community and you're giving it to a people who have taken enough from us and you're not leaving for our own people.
My apologies, the mic wasn't on and I was going. Can you hear me now? My question is this. I was saying this. Can you hear me now? Just make sure. Yeah, the comments are coming in a little late, but okay, there we go. My question is, who are we leaving money to now? You get it? Like, if I die today, I'm leaving money to who? My wife, my children. I'm leaving everything that I've worked for them, right? So that's what he's saying. So if Kanye West dies today, shit, Kanye paying $200,000 a month in alimony and child support. Whew! $200,000 a month. Is he enriching white people? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm going to take a phone call real fast if you guys don't mind. I got a couple of them lined up. I'm going to take one right now. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
How you doing, Wyatt? This is Fame Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson.
Okay. What's good? Yeah, Fame. What's good with you, brother? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, yeah, it was a little delay there.
Yes. What's going on with you, brother? How you feeling today? You feeling better today?
No, I was going to ask you, are you sober? You know, apparently last night you was on the sauce.
Oh, my God. I was on the sauce last night?
I watched the replay.
before I even got on the phone, I saw you take a sip.
I've been sipping, but you gotta,
Yeah,
bro. Anybody that knows my
60
ass,
pounds, you can't drink like that.
anybody that knows me know that I'm drinking like either y'all know I'm cheap as hell. I drink big K's, bro. I don't tap it with nothing. I drink K's.
Oh,
I drink
okay.
I drink non-alcoholic beverages. But I just need to know what your excuse was for yesterday.
Oh, I was on point per usual. I don't understand like why I'm being chastised. You know, the reason you couldn't get the message is because I realized that we kept breaking up so much. So some certain parts of it was missing. I was spitting from the Survivor Scrolls.
All right, well,
like I'm about to do today.
Okay, what you got today? And then we'll go back to that one if we had time. I just got calls lined up, but I want to hear what your opinion is about today.
First of all, I thought Umar Johnson was spot on, 100.
Okay.
I have no problem telling you. I have a couple biracial kids, and I mean, I love my kids, but I'm like, damn, that was a mistake.
What?
Yes, I have no problem saying that. Yes, I have a couple biracial kids, and I realized it was a mistake.
But you love those kids, brother.
Knocking her up like that.
But you love them kids. You love them kids.
Listen, I will put a bullet in any asshole listening to this show.
Right.
Say something foul about my kids.
Right. I feel you on
Don't
that.
get it twisted. I love my kids. But I realized I made a mistake on who I knocked them up with. You know,
that's fair. With. That's fair. I can appreciate that honesty. That's very fair. You know it take a big person to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're 17 and 20 now, and they see the world, including black people, through a white lens, and it just really chaps my ass. Like I could hurt one of y'all, especially my son. Now I have a 100%, black son, and it's just like it's just a different element with him than I. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
It's just a total different a different relationship, and I made my first group of kids, I let it be known. I get rich, TJ gets it. And if he gives you some, it's because he likes you, so you better get good with him. You understand what I'm saying?
TJ must be the all black one.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Here come fame, y'all.
What you want me?
No, I'm just saying, is he the oldest? I'm just curious.
Yeah, he's the all black one. Like I said, if I get rich, he's the one. He's getting it. They gonna have to go through him.
Okay.
I get rich and pass. They got to go through him.
But he is the oldest of all of them.
No, he's the youngest.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay.
He ain't but 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how old the other ones are, so they're just.
They're 17 and 20.
Oh, so they gonna have to wait a minute before they can get anything.
Unless they gonna get a little. I mean, there's a little something. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I would give them a little something, but the majority of it's going through him. You gotta holler at him.
If I may ask, and this is not, I'm not shooting shade. This is an honest conversation. I can't believe how honest it is. My question to you is this, Fame. Why do you say that you had? I mean, okay. Why do you say you had, kids with the wrong person? Is it because they're biracial? Like the late, is she white?
One is and one's Puerto Rican.
Okay, but is that the only reason why you feel like you had kids with the wrong person? Is because of that, or because you didn't really have a love for them? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a little bit of everything. You know, I mean, they were practice girls.
Say it again.
They was practice girls.
Practice girls. Okay, that turned into a full-time situation. Because once you had children with them, they become full-time.
I was just practicing my moves, and it wasn't being safe.
I understand, but that's how you turn it.
I don't want to get graphic, but I mean, you asked.
But I'm just saying this is what. Then you can probably appreciate what I'm talking about. Did you love them women when you had the babies with them at that time?
One, yeah. One, no.
Just the one you loved, that relationship just didn't work out. That happens. I get it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Well, Fame, you're exactly the guy I've been talking about, today. It's
exactly.
Because you're perfect.
Yeah. I regret having kids with women I didn't love like that. wasn't really trying to have kids with them like that. But to go back to Umar, yeah, I mean it's yeah, I totally get what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because you're losing resources out of the community and things like that. But I'm not even talking about the women, because Black women have always had kids with have made it with white men. I mean, hell, we can go back to the 60s and 70s. Look at Lenny Kravitz's mother, Helen Willis, Roxy Roker.
Isn't that the lady? Isn't that the lady that played on The Jeffersons?
Yeah, Helen Willis. She was the director of the health center.
Yeah.
She did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she had white men kids. And they're doing it now. This isn't a new phenomenon. Part of getting outside of the race. Part of that is you kind of just experiencing something new.
Mm. No, I mean,
you go to college, you're around a different person now. You're around people that are of your intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, you have more
and your goals.
You have more options, and people that are a little bit more in the same realms of what you're doing in life. That's just usually what's happening. And
I mean, yes, it's all a choice, just like these gay people. It's all about choices. You're making the choices that you want to have.
I'm going to try to stay away from you in the gay conversation. I don't know if I'd be able to take that one today. That might go way left. That might go way off my radar of my knowledge of that. Did you hear earlier what I said about it? I just don't understand it.
No, I did. I did not. What did you say?
I just don't understand. Look, I understand love. I can understand how people can love one another, but I don't understand physical attraction of the same sex of a man. Like, I can only say it as a heterosexual man, fame. I don't understand. So I'm not going to be real good in a conversation.
No, I'm 100% with you. I mean, it's I don't, the things you need to live are air, food, and water. You don't need sex to live. So therefore, if you're having the same sex relationships, you're choosing to do that. I don't know about, I'm pretty sure you, matter of fact, I've only met you, 2 years ago, but I'm pretty sure, like I said, I met you at LeBron way back in the day. But, I'm pretty sure you, myself, Drop Squad, and pretty much even the men I don't like, what's his name? Daryl Carpenter, none of us have ever woke up in the morning, gave ourselves a Ricky D stretching morning yawning, put our feet on the floor and said, damn, some dick would hit today.
Okay. I can say I've never done that. You're right. But okay. Yeah, I mean,
let's keep it a buck. We're adults talking on unfiltered radio. Let's be adults about it.
Yeah.
I ain't never done that. You ain't never done that. So these people are choosing to do that. And now, like I said, the two oldest kids, like my son, he's the 17-year-old. He turns 18, like, I'm going to Walmart and get some boxing gloves. Like, me and him got to go a couple rounds.
Yeah.
I got to tighten him up before he goes out in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's the worst one that sees the world like that, and it's just like, oh, dude, I might have to, really put you in the hospital so you can take 6 months to sit back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Like to that point, but yeah, well, we don't, Black athletes and Black entertainers have always messed around outside their race. Sidney, we're going all the way back to Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby. Part of the reason we're upset about Bill Cosby because the woman that took him down was just such an ugly woman. Not that she was white, it was just such a hideous woman. Like, damn, bro.
Well, it was 33 of them.
It's the practice girls. It's the practice girls that'll do you in every time.
Yeah, well, it's all about decision making. I still think there's a lot to be told about the Bill Cosby story. I think to discredit the black man was to take away a lot of the truth that he may have been speaking throughout the community for years. And the first thing you do is the divide and conquer is absolutely real. If you divide him away from us by making him an enemy of the state of us, then whatever happens to him, he deserves. That's how people think. And I just don't think that he's guilty of all the things that he was accused of, mainly because of how the case rolled out. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't give it methodical thoughts. They go by what the media has put in their minds, and they kind of use that evidence as the lock and key of a person's how they're perceived. And I don't like it. I think that Bill Cosby has done a whole lot of good for the black community, a lot more than we even talk about. Hell, they've been bitching and complaining about Deion Sanders, and I ain't heard nobody talk about the millions of dollars that Bill Cosby gave to HBCUs. So, it's just, we got a lot of work to do if we're going to try to clean house. We got to stop looking at everybody else and sometimes let that mirror kind of, veer back at you sometimes. But
right. I totally agree.
Yeah, Bill Cosby did a lot for a lot of HBCUs. He did a lot for a lot of black careers. He did a lot for a lot of people. He's not getting any credit for that. He's getting exactly what the people put in front of him to get a bad reputation. And if you look at the circumstances, and if you look at the court cases, and if you listen to the depositions that were presented, it's just too much consistency that was led by the same attorney for all of those women. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but that's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. And, I just think that people need to pay attention to who they take down. There's certain people who they take down for different reasons. And you want to always take care of they tried to do that to Martin Luther King at one point too, until he started playing ball. See, I'm not defaming Martin Luther King. Of course not. He was a powerful brother and all that, but I'm more of a Malcolm X brother. My train of thought was more focused on how he was going to save or make us more productive. I was more about get your own instead of integration. And I'm sorry to say that now. I know it's 2022 and a lot of people may not agree with me, but I always believe if they don't want you in your swimming pools, if they don't want you in the restaurants, if they don't want you where they are, then you get your own. You figure out a way to make it happen. And during
I ain't about to be out there holding up videos talking about, this lady at Target racist and won't sell it, blah, blah. I'm just walking out like, all right, then. CVS up the street, Walmart up the street. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to sit there and make a big production out of it. Because you don't want me there? Peace. Like you said, I'm with you on, I'm 1,000% with you on that.
Yeah, I'll never bet.
But back to Umar, I think he's being intentionally bombastic. Quote unquote snow bunny crisis. Black man, we've been dealing with that for years. The quote unquote snow. Like I said, there are 60-year-old men who are biracial around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Black dad, white mom. That's been going on. They were saying that in the 80s. They were saying that in the 90s. Umar, he knows. I mean, he's an articulate, smart guy. He knows what to say to get black women on his side, and because he's a little bit of he's like this. He's been known to have practice girls too, and this is a known fact. Now he calls it polygamy now. That he's trying to be in polyamorous relationships and whatnot. But before you was on that, the quote unquote conscious stripper was taking your head off on Twitter, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So like, you got to kind of consider the source with a lot of these cats, and he would be one of them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that he's not right, but it's like, B, we know you.
But now let me
try to play us.
But now let me ask you this. I think this is a legitimate question. Do you feel like we still need to be paying attention to where our economics go when it comes down to our family basis? In other words, if a brother plays in the NFL and he's making, I don't know, $10 million, do you think it's fair to criticize him because he chose a white woman or a Latino woman, a woman outside of the black race? Because we're sitting back here wondering, I think Dr. Umar Johnson brings up a valid point, but I don't hear him talking about our black people who are dying in our communities without insurance, and they leaving they family in bad situations. Do you understand the parallel that I'm giving there? In other words, you talking about the brother who's not contributing the 10 million to the black families, but then when you do have a brother who may pass along and we taking up GoFundMe's and shit like that for funerals. I mean, you see what I'm saying, yo? Like,
I mean, put it like this: they got at Kyrie real good that year that Cleveland won the title. You know, because he went out on a boat with 25 white women, wasn't a black woman on the boat at all. You know, and some people was like, "Oh, look at black women getting mad because Kyrie won't take them on a boat and degrade them." You know, that type of thing. But ever since then, Kyrie been the blackest black athlete there's out.
Well, you know what?
You know what I'm saying? Just a little black girl was saying she needs $6,000 to finish her degree at UCLA. She put a what is that called? What's it called? Help Fund Me or whatever.
GoFundMe.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
GoFundMe. She put up one of those, asked him to raise $6,000. Kyrie comes in himself and gives her 25.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've supported Kyrie and his cause, because I think he was done wrong. But then everybody wants to make him the messiah of the black man right now as well. I wonder if Dr. Umar Johnson feels the same way about Kyrie, who has interracial babies. I mean, I think he's specifically talking to someone like Kyrie, quite honestly.
Yes, because Kyrie, he's having the reason why he's having that epiphany is because he realized, like, I did not long term. This is a bad decision to knock up a white woman.
Well,
I look at Russell Wilson, same thing, was with the whitest white woman of ever. Now he has somewhat of a hood rat. Let's be honest. Ciara's a hood rat. Who can sing?
Who?
Ciara.
Oh, you saying Russell?
Ciara.
You said Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I didn't hear who you said.
You see that? Do you see that in a picture of his ex-wife? You know what I'm saying? And now look at him. He's with a hood rat. Why? Because he had to. He had a little bit of a mental change and realized, like, nah, that ain't the move.
So they're not together anymore?
They're not what?
Are they not together anymore?
Who?
Ciara and Russell Wilson. Are they still together?
Yeah, they're still together, but his first wife.
Oh, he was married before. The woman who was
with him on draft day was white.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I didn't know he was married before. That's my fault. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got a little bit of his bread when he got the big money from Seattle. When he got his big money, she got a little bit of the bread because he broke up with her like right before he signed the contract.
I got you. I know.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about now. At first, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was with someone before Ciara. To be honest with you, I didn't know he was married before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, just, part of that is kind of like what you do when you're younger. Then you realize you made mistakes and you grow up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what those guys are going through. Maybe Colin Kaepernick, I don't believe it, but maybe that's what he did. Because let's be honest, he's still not with a black woman, even though he's supposed to be blackity black, riding, raising awareness for black folks and everything, walking around wearing dashikis and shit.
Who did you say?
You know what I'm saying? Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Kaepernick. Okay, yeah, okay, I got it.
That woman ain't black. She's Egyptian, so I guess she's African, but she's not black. You know what I'm saying? She still looks like she's biracial or something.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying.
So is he. So I mean, it is what it is. I don't like.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you said that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me say this. Part of that is your experiences. I mean, like one thing I talked about. With a baseball guy is, I hate to alienate the audience, but Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr. These the same nigga. These the same dudes, but Ken Griffey Jr. was always considered a good guy. Barry was always considered an asshole. Why? Griffey married a black woman. Bonds going around slumming around with white women and Asian women.
You think that's what made them? You think that's what made their reputation?
Listen, they're the same guy. They are the exact same guy. Couple years old between each other and apart.
I don't know that. I don't know if they're the same guy.
Grew up affluent because dad was in the home. And not only was dad in the home and well paid, he was a professional baseball player, all-star caliber baseball player. Both of them were all-stars in the 70s. Griffey Sr. and Bobby Bonds.
Yeah, but I think what
all-star MVPs.
I get it. Their accolades on the field are what they are, but I think that who they are off the field is what defines them to the media as being assholes and stuff. I think Barry Bonds was a nasty person to people. I really do.
I think he just nobody likes the dickhead who grew up rich, and that's all who Barry Bonds was.
Now I didn't know he came from a wealthy family or well-to-do family, but I know that he came from a wealthy, well-to-do family. But like I said, he's got a white Russian. His kids are from a white Russian woman. Okay.
His grown kids are from a white Russian woman named Sun, a blonde hair woman.
All right, so now let me ask you something.
Woman you've ever seen? Blue eyes, blonde hair. Griffey woman, tall, stunning, kind of biracially looking, but she's obviously black.
All right. Fame, you got anything else?
I have absolutely nothing to say else other than the fact that it's always a pleasure. It's been real. We'll chat it up again soon, and I need you to be well, sir, and your listeners.
You too, brother. That was Fame, and we got the famous how at the end of the conversation there. Let's take one more call before we get out of here for the evening. What's good, caller? This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Wyatt. It's Marquetta.
Hey, Marquetta. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
You holding on, sister? Hey, was that you that called yesterday and I couldn't get the call in?
Probably.
I'm sorry about that, sister.
My ears burning. You in pain.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a crazy one yesterday, sister. My apologies. It was at the end. I was already 3 hours and 15 minutes.
But I was saying when I'm working, I can go back and listen to you, watch your show. It helped me get through my day.
Well, I appreciate it.
You being there.
I appreciate you, sister. I know you got some fire for us tonight. Go ahead and let us have it.
Well, what you're talking about, if you look at the link that I posted in your chat from the Black Enterprise, it's not necessarily who you love, or even who you marry. It's because you're Black. So based off of statistics and data, that you fall in line no matter where you are within that spectrum. They're saying by 2053, Black wealth is going to be zero. So highlight a portion of the article. It says, studies show that education has proven to increase earnings potential. Mm-hmm. But the income gained from pursuing higher education is undercut when you have to take out large sums of student loan money without a plan to pay it back. So the interest adds up and you will end up paying more than you borrowed if you don't understand the student loan repayment process. So if the economy is growing at 3%, you have to earn 6% to build wealth. And so your income has to grow faster than the economy. And so unfortunately, because of the massive amount of student loan debt, your earnings will not grow faster than the debt burden that just kicked in. So that is not necessarily who our love relationships are, but how we have been managing to get forward in society through education has required a large debt. And that's why you hear in the news, the student loan debt. I always talk about that. I don't know if I just be talking too fast or talking too much.
No, I get it. I understand. It's not that people miss you. It's just maybe people don't want to hear it. I mean, I say that respectfully. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sis? Everybody don't want to hear it. The truth is a difficult thing to deal with sometimes. And, the truth sometimes points fingers at, our own mistakes. And if we're making the mistake and we don't know how to fix it, then we don't want to hear about the mistake. I mean, do you get what I'm saying to you? So it's like it's very easy to solve our problems with our children, but nobody really wants to step up and tell people what the real problem is. But if you never confront it and talk about it, how you ever going to solve the problem?
Well, and that's the thing. Every problem is an opportunity. every problem is not a crisis in the end of the world. And I think that sometimes people think I'm a bit paranoid, or I look at chats and I'll be reading, thinking I got a little ADD or whatever. I know I'm talking about, and like I said, it's women marry when we date out. We're marrying for prestige.
Really?
And also,
wait a minute. Did I hear that correct? I'm sorry, sis. Hold on.
What was his name? Tiger Woods was screwing the maid, the babysitters, the waitresses. You know, they wife up anybody because of the fetishizing. And sometimes we get with white men that fetishize us. You know, I've seen it. But you can't dictate to people who to love because of your wealth crisis. But at the same time, the impact of that does create this big juggernaut of the Kardashians. I feel so sorry for people who thought that Kanye West was saved and was running to his church and listening to his music and thinking that they was really doing something positive, because Kanye West was a great producer, but he's not a genius, and it doesn't make him a good person because he's a rich person, you know? And the same thing, I just listened to that brother Shame Sierra. Sierra's the queen of crunk. Her whole generation came in at 16, 17 years old from Atlanta, a whole generation. And they turned out Black music and brought it back and created millionaires and billionaires. You got to give, Sierra was already an established international pop singer with a sexualized image before Russell Wilson looked her way. She's never been a hood rat. She's always been productive in making the most out of her life. Unfortunately, she chose to mate with someone. And as women, when we choose to mate with the wrong person, it's catastrophic if they're not intentionally looking to enhance our life and our productivity. And because I always say, you know, people get paid to tell us a certain thing, Democratic, Republican, they get paid to influence that. You know, 1 minute I'm a Republican, 1 minute I'm a Democrat. You know, I vote here, I vote there, but your vote really ain't the issue. The issue is the economy. And in the future, you know, we're coming into 2023. There's really no reason for us to be broke, because the internet allows you, you know, Walmart stores, Amazon stores, you can start a business and consult, you can, you know, do this, you can do that. So there's really no excuse. But that student loan debt is going to come in. That's why Dr. Cosby was so important. Dr. Cosby has never been convicted of rape. They had to go to the Supreme Court and get it appealed because the Philadelphia prosecutor ran on the platform that he would lock up Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
That's what he said when he was running. That was his ad. Yeah. I'm going to lock up Bill Cosby, even if it's unconstitutional. We all watched that. I don't care how many of them women said whatever they said. There was no rape kit. There was no proof of rape. It was 40 years ago. It's skeptical. I don't know. It's this, it's that. You're making a mockery of real victims of rape by doing and making a show and a production of that. And they're still after him. And Dr. Cosby and his wife, if you look at their body of work, I mean, the productivity of this man, from Fat Albert and the electric company.
I totally agree with you, sister. And
to the Cosby Show. I mean, how dare we as a community?
Let me say this.
We couldn't even spell HBCU if it wasn't for Dr. Cosby in a different world.
Thank you. Thank you. Not only did he bring attention through a TV show to HBCUs in different world, he made massive donations to HBCUs. They had his name up on libraries. He donated computers. He paid tuition for kids. He did a lot that went way under the radar, and nobody talks about that. But yet,
and when we talk about, that's the whole thing. This is war. When you talk about sex, politics, and war on that level, he's married to a Black woman. He's telling you it's a 15-year-old at the Playboy Mansion. Why are you at the Playboy Mansion at 15? Because Brooke Shields was 11 in her first nude photo shoot.
Yeah.
So certain things are allowed in their circles. You know, but the way that we turned on Dr. Cosby, it was disgusting. And they never got a rape conviction.
Well, it was well planned. What happened is they got an admission from him in a deal. Okay, in other words,
I give you a quaalude.
Yeah,
well, I
well,
like to use Benadryl.
yeah, well, you know how that goes. And all you need is an inch to take a yard in a court of law. And what happened is when that DA, when that prosecutor moved away and lost his job, he went and did something different. The deal that they made with Dr. Cosby fell out. And then it turned out that, you know, that's why he won his appeal, is because of the dirty shystiness. If you got somebody on conviction, you stand on the merit of your evidence. That's all you have to do. Your evidence should be enough, not dirty tricks and trying to get convictions and get a signature on some bad, come on now. You said you wanted this information just for the ladies that were going in the civil suit. They got their information for a civil suit. It was not the criminal suit. That's why they couldn't get a conviction. There was not enough evidence. Let's just say this though, sis. You and I both know, and a few others know, the reason why it was important to tear somebody like Bill Cosby down is because he didn't sit back like a lot of our prominent black leaders. He had a pocketbook, he had an opinion, and he was moving the needle. And that's the type of person in our community that you have to discredit. When you discredit someone like that, that keeps people blinded to the real movement, the real power in economics, the real power in a man saying things. People were bad on him because he would say things like pull your pants up. That turned into a joke. And then you got black people turning around talking about how Bill Cosby was talking down on his people. It's one thing to talk down on your people. Then it's one thing to tell the truth about what's harming your people. And if telling the truth means you're talking down on your people, well, damn, I guess we all kind of guilty of it. It's just some of us say it at the damn kitchen table amongst family, and then some of us say it out loud where we can make a difference.
But some things we shouldn't say publicly.
I agree.
Because
I agree, but I don't remember him saying anything. What did he say publicly?
Like I got some bad things about me. I don't want nobody to know that. But there is someone who would like, just out of bitterness and anger, to hurry up and throw up the first negative thing that they know, or the first negative thing that they see, just because that's what they own. And we in that type of culture now. I'm trying, if y'all have been hearing me for the last 20 years, I've been trying to wake us up, because we are such a crucial portion of America. It's only 14% of us. 7% here, 5, 6, 7% here. By 2030, we'll be browned out. And I don't know if you've ever been a rat against a wall, or the only person. I know all of my life in my work atmospheres, I've been the only Black person here. Not that there's not other Black people, but they're not necessarily from America.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean? Or there's certain social situations where there are no Black men. You have to know how to interact and entertain with other races of men, and how to still be a lady and appealing if you looking to mate in that genre, because there are no men around you. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So
I totally get it.
I was just saying that, we are incapable of loving each other. We have to learn to love each other. But in order for us to grow as a group, we have to have a certain group think, and we're divorcing our group think for Republican or Democratic, or now this Pan-African thing, which Umar is trying to tap into. He's a clown. Him and Tyreek are clown. Where's his wife? Where's his proof that he believes any of that stuff that he's saying?
Who is that? Dr. Umar?
Dr. Umar don't take care of his kids. That's not cool. You sitting up berate, and that's where Bill Cosby's credibility was able to get. You got a good side, you got a bad side. You like white girls, and they'll turn on you. They want some money, $2,000, $100,000, publicity, a book, child. Janice Dixon even got in on that. She accused Sylvester Stallone of being his baby mama, and came back, and it wasn't.
Yeah, I think Janice Dickerson muddied the water a lot with the Bill Cosby thing. I think she brought the truth of how fucked up, how flawed that whole situation was, to be honest with you, because she even came in and started lying and shit, and then people were like, wait a minute, hold on, not you, and then she had to back up out of that. She had to back up out of it.
We have to move forward. We have to move forward into 2023. We're in a critical stage. And I don't know where, I just don't know where I could, like, just on the internet, if you're watching the trending news, it's over for this next generation. I heard, and I was reading, and Janice in the comments saying when she was growing up, everybody was married. You know what I'm saying? You had a father. And I'm thinking to myself, like, welcome to the 80s. Welcome to the late 70s. Where you have Reaganomics. You have Nixon with an all-out telling you, I'm a crooked politician and I got an assault agenda against Black people. You got the Reaganomics. You got Bush. You got crack. You got a whole different agenda. You got Murphy Brown and Dan Quayle talking about single mothers and how what an abomination it is. But you had a whole generation of Black people who were in households that were not traditional. So you had uncles and aunts, you had mothers and grandmothers. You had my Aunt Medea on my mother's best friend side. She was 92 or 93 years old when I was like 6. So there's like nothing wrong with us. We age well. Even with that so-called slave diet they try to account us for. One of my best friends, he's 95. But we don't have that now. You have people dying at 14 and 15 and 19. And if you tell them why, they could look back at you and tell I know this bad about you. You need to do, because you did it.
Yeah.
So there's no group think amongst us. We're not a team that anyone wants to rally around, but everybody is so proud to be Black. But I'm just saying there's other things to be proud of within our group sector. But in order to keep that tradition and keep your head up, we got to do this and the third. But, there's no reason for us to be at a zero wealth rate by 2053. Regardless, we have enough money within our economy. We just trend to do the wrong things. Like, look at Young Thug. He done got his whole clique rich. Everybody getting money, however they getting it. And he putting them on. They getting millions of dollars in recognition and fame. They in turn get their money to Balenciaga and Gucci. That stuff does not have any inherent value. Like a Birkin bag, it's like having a house. Or, you can put that in a museum center. That's something that, in time may age. But all that fancy designer stuff, $3,000, $4,000 outfits, that's Black wealth. That goes out. That's why inflation's so high. That's why everybody PPP on. Ain't nobody going to jail for that. You're gonna get a few people who got millions of dollars so that they can make an example out of them. But on a group scale, that's why the inflation. Elijah Muhammad taught us the white man is the ruler of the economy. And so I posted a video on my Facebook page today at the economic hitman, his TED talk. And he talked about how he would go into countries and destabilize the country by making them take out a loan with the IMF. And the IMF would then come in and invest in their country's resources and give people jobs. But in the meantime, they sold all of their land, wealth, GDP, GNP away to the loan of the IMF. And it's the same thing in America with student loan debt on the back of Black people. Instead of Governor Newsom understanding reparations and what it really looked like, he just want to give everybody $230,000. Because if you saw the Chappelle show, they just don't put it back in the economy.
Absolutely. That's the whole plan. And first of all, we're being used on that, sis. They're never going to give Black people $236,000 a piece in California. It's never going to happen. There's no way you can prove your bloodline, your gene line.
There's no way you can prove slave ancestry.
There's no way. There's no way. And every Black person, every mixed person, every person, Latino, everybody going to say they have Black genes, Black blood. It's impossible. And once again, it's theatrical. It's this governor showing, I'm going to do something for Black people. It's a lie. He's not going to do it. It's bullshit. And we got to start holding these people accountable. We got to stop letting them just dangle carrots over our head, acting like they gonna do something. And they it's getting to the point now where they're using reparations. Here's the thing. I'm not saying
Maxine Waters was the biggest crypto, the guy that got arrested in the Bahamas that you was talking about the one day.
FTX.
FTX.
Yeah.
She was one of his biggest supporters to bring him to the floor. Now he got a shell con game. You give me your money, I'm gonna put the money in this cup. I'm gonna move this cup, I'm gonna show you this money. You're gonna show me your money, I'm gonna empty this cup. I'm gonna put this empty cup in this cup, and you put this cup over this cup. And then after I'm done with that cup, I'm gonna have billions of dollars. It looked like.
But let me ask you this, sis. Why on that same note? Why, when I said that this guy was wrong 2 years ago, why didn't anybody say, I brought that to the attention to the show 2 years ago. I said, yo, this one thing, don't stop asking me about Bitcoin and all this old shit. I got a situation where I'm watching the FTX company and it's fraudulent and it's Jewish boys who has Jewish family. And somebody put a post out some time ago about why it's an old friend of mine who put a post out, and it's had the problem with black folks, and it was a Jewish man on the post that said it, literally said it. He said, one thing about us Jewish people is we can go to each other's house, even if we don't know each other, we can feed each other, we can do this. He tried to make it seem like they were so much great on each other, they over and beyond and unapproachable of being dirty or anything.
Criminals. If you look up in New York City, they had to raid the Jewish neighborhoods with all of their rabbis and all of their students because they was running fraud, real estate gang, and drugs out of New York City. I mean, don't get me started on Israel, because when you start talking about that type of stuff, you get censored.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And all I'm saying to you is we can't, we can't continue to give a group of people who's been gutting this country out so much damn credit, talking about how they stick together. They also open up a lot of doors of theft for one another. That FTX scam could have never happened if there wasn't people put in place to be able to push the 3-card Molly scam to the politicians. This guy gave $40 million donations spread out to politicians. And not to mention, just like Bernie Madoff, these guys opened up the doors amongst people that their race, their religion of people, their group of people who control a lot of this shit, opened up the doors for all this scam and all that to happen. And we can't continue to let that shit just go by and not even talk about it. I mean, it has to be brought to the forefront. But they're not going to talk about it because what happens is you end up like Kyrie, you end up like some of these brothers that are actually, there's a lot of people that do say some things. And when they do, the repercussions of it is horrible. And I'm just being honest with you. It's
so hurt because at the end of this year, and this is where a lot of our people, I'm going to say it. I don't give up. I'll say it. But and the one brother say I talk over people's head, or I be trying to talk like a spark of rumor. Keep up and pay attention to your Bible. And when you go to church, the people of Zion, are the rulers in the last day, and they are the synagogue of Satan. But they say they Jews. The contention is, you can be a Jew. Anybody can be a Jew. Anyone can practice Judaism, but you can't be a Hebrew. Everybody's not a Hebrew. And when you talk about being a Black Hebrew or Black Israelite Hebrew, then you're getting biblical to the root of the people of Africa. And nobody want to hear that because we're brainwashed to worship these people. So even in the church, no matter what, I just watched, it's like I just called Farrakhan a demon spirit in front of his congregation. Farrakhan doesn't teach racism. He's telling you pay attention and group think and operate as a unit because we're in trouble. Everybody else does except for us. So but they can say those type of things and there's no backlash.
No, they'll
take you down.
There's no anti-Semitism when it's said about us, but when we say something like that, it's anti-Semitism. There's a definition
we
for
are
it.
The root of the Semite. We are the Kemite. If you can even claim to be Semitic, you saying you biracial.
Right. All right, sis, I gotta move on. It's always a pleasure.
Your time, bro.
It's always a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate the gems that you drop from the trees. Sometimes I always pick the extra ones up and I put them in my pocket. You hear me?
That's what's up. I'll talk with you soon.
Talk to you. All right. That's Marquetta, y'all. She can get deep with it. She can get deep with it. And I don't have no problem having them type of conversations. Every once in a while, I'll leave it right there for y'all, you know. But I don't have a problem listening and learning and passing on a little bit of information that I have. I just know that we need to really pay attention to some things. We need to pay attention to some things. And I watched the president the other day. Y'all gonna get a little upset at me for saying this, but I want you to watch this. Let me pull this up if you guys don't mind. Some people piecing us out real fast, but I want to pull this up, and I'll probably play this again one day. Let me see if I had this video, and I want you to see the value in this video. It's not long. It's about 30 seconds long. Let me see if I still have it. It's our president of the United States making a comment. Let me see if I have it. Joe Biden. Where is he? I made this point the other day. Here it is. If you guys don't mind, I want you to watch this video for a hot second. Just watch this video.
From the very beginning of the Second Amendment existed, certain people weren't allowed to have weapons. So the idea is just bizarre to suggest that some of the things we're recommending are contrary to the Constitution. Gun violence in this country is an epidemic. Let me say it again. Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment. You know, we saw it again last night as I was coming to the Oval Office. I got the word that in South Carolina, a physician with his wife, 2 grandchildren, and a person working at his house was gunned down, all 5. So many people, so many of the people sitting here today know that well, unfortunately.
Sorry about that. Damn. Didn't hit the mic. I said this. Did you all hear what he said? He said gun violence in America is an epidemic. He said gun violence in America is an epidemic. And then he also says it's an embarrassment of America internationally. It's an embarrassment internationally. Did y'all hear that? Do I need to play it again? Because I got to put this on your mind. And at the end of his speech there, he says, now who he's talking to is a group of people at the White House, and there's victims in the audience, family members of people that were shot randomly, streets of Chicago, you know, church victim families that somebody came in and shot up, you know, churches. And he's talking to those families about gun violence in America and how it's an epidemic, how it's an international embarrassment for America. But you let an arms dealer go. You traded for your own benefit an arms dealer just for a photo opt for you to show the LGBTQ community that you for them. I have never seen so much hypocrisy in my life. Y'all are zoomed in and focused on the fact that a black woman, LGBTQ and all that, you totally zoned out at a, and anybody that'll say something about this like I'm saying it, you'll look at me and call me a coon. You'll look at me and call me everything that you don't want to call the people that are dazed and drunk on this bullshit right here. How do you think the families, now let's take me out of it. How do you think the families in the audience that day over the summer feel about what trade he made after saying that speech to them at the White House? We got to control the guns in this world, and we are an international embarrassment. He must have forgot about that speech. He must have totally fucking forgot. I know he don't know what he said because he didn't write it. He was reading it off the card, of course. See, the actions don't match the words. But what I have a fucking problem with is who he uses to get his to get where they going. I got a problem with that. I got a serious problem with that. See, the good thing about video is you got all this content. And when people say one thing and it don't match their actions, then you ain't who you say you are. Your words don't mean shit. It's your actions that mean something to me. And I know I'm gonna get some hate because they already want to hate me because I asked a question about Brittany Griner. This has nothing to do with Brittany Griner. For those that want to make it about Brittany Griner and keep on making shit about Deion Sanders, y'all missing the big picture. You just drunk on. See, you got to understand, people treat you like you dumb because you let them do dumb shit to you. And if you don't catch it and check them on it, like I'm checking Biden right now. I'm checking him by telling us how much, instead of telling the truth about what's going on in Chicago, about the guns and all that old shit, you make it about gun violence, gun accessibility, we want to cut the guns. We want to do this. We want to do that. How could you possibly have meant that when you're talking about the violence in Chicago? Do you really want to cut the violence down and the guns down in these inner city places? Do you really want to do that, bro? So you trying to tell me that the merchant of death who you let out has nothing to do with these guns hitting the streets of inner cities? Do you really think that? A man that had access to AK-47s, Uzis, grenades, the same shit that the police is saying that they have to fight off of criminals on the streets. Most police stations will tell you we need budget for ammunition and guns because the crooks have bigger guns than us. I don't hear any of the chaos agents screaming and hollering about an arms dealer being released. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. You know why? Because they drunk. They drunk on the power to the people shit. They drunk on the fact that an LGBTQ person just got out of jail, and then they want to attack anybody that may question this move. I'm not questioning the move. I'm questioning the commitment. Do you really want to stop the shooting and killing that's going on in Chicago? Do you really want to stop the shit that's going on in Philadelphia? Because as long as the voters continue to put the certain people in spot, it must not be a problem. There must not be a problem. There must not be an issue. But see, your actions show me different than what you say. So what you saying don't mean shit to me. I'm going to take a phone call before I get up out of here. Last call of the evening. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this CK, man. How you doing,
hey,
brother?
CK, how you doing, bro? What's good?
I had to comment on this Dr. Umar phenomenon.
Okay.
He was 100% right until he got to the end on the Deion Sanders and he threw him under the bus. But the problem with, like you said, Michael Jackson, you make $1 billion and then you have 3 white kids that you claim as black with none of your DNA. Like you said, now it's like you just shelling over. It's like they're gonna be richer than his family, the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
What you think? You think they're gonna have more money than the Jackson 5?
Well, I'll say this to you, CK. I don't know much about the Michael Jackson finance because I was under the impression that he excuse me, I'm sorry about that, bro. I was under the impression that he had some financial issues. Right. Okay, so I don't know how rich those kids really are. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectful. I just don't know how rich those kids really are because he ended up auctioning off and selling a lot of his stuff because he did fall into some financial issues. Okay. And I don't know what his finance. I know his brothers, the Jackson 5 and all them. I know the Jackson 3 or the Jackson 4 still out here working. I do know that. And the reason why they working is probably because they have to.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I really can't answer that question about if his family gonna be well off. I do remember Paris and whatever the other names. I remember him. If I'm not mistaken, he had these babies by some woman that didn't look like the Michael Jackson type. This was a woman like, I remember seeing her back in the day, and I'm like, Michael Jackson can have any woman. This looks like an arrangement to me. Okay, so it just looked like an arrangement. It didn't look real. So I don't know.
But go to the other men, Jay, Michael Jordan, same thing. If he passed away, it's not going to black. It's going to his white family.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe. I mean, he has children. He has two boys that from his first or three.
And a woman and a daughter that just got married.
Okay. So he has family that's definitely going to inherit some of his money. Now he's a billionaire, so he definitely has some money to leave in a situation. And, he has a lot of equity in America, so he'll leave something for his people. I can't say that Michael Jackson did that. I look at somebody like Prince. These are guys that was making hundreds of millions of dollars, and Prince died with no will. And his family was fighting over his situation. So Dr. Umar Johnson has some points. I understand. But my point is this. Not necessarily my point. My question is, how important is it really to continue or to maintain the black race? Some people are just moving on with their life and creating their own group of people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whether it's a black man having a Latino woman and they create Latino, whatever the hell you want to call it, they're creating a whole nother situation, and they're not stuck on building black wealth. They're just being happy who they are, and they're creating brand new life. And they're not stuck on, building black economics. They're not building black companies. They're not doing all of that because they just want to be who they are and be who they want to be with. And I mean, that's fair. I can't be mad at people that want to do that. I started the show, CK, by saying I think it's very unfair when black women used to say that black men was getting with white women because it made black men feel better. I just didn't agree with that, because now what do you say when black women end up with white men? It's just that they took the chance to do something different. They found love the way they needed love. They found somebody that may not look like them, but love them the way they need to be loved as an individual. That's how I feel about it. And they created what they created together.
But remember, like when you say they call you a coon, they can't call you a coon because your daughters are black, your wife is black. So that is out of the question.
No,
so
bro.
You naturally who you are.
Coon is
but if Barack Obama had a white wife, it would change the whole perception.
If Barack
Obama
had a white wife, he would have never been the first black president. You do realize that? I'm sorry?
Clarence Thomas.
Well, he was a plant. He was, you got to understand, Clarence Thomas was not somebody. Okay, look, I don't have a problem with Clarence Thomas, like the people who give him such a bad rap and all that. But Clarence Thomas was not a traditional Supreme Court justice. He was appointed by someone. He was put in there. Clarence Thomas was never a judge. Tell me one of the Supreme Court justices that's on the bench right now as a Supreme Court judge who was never a judge. He's never tried a felony case. I ain't saying that he's never been a magistrate or a small municipal type of a judge, but he's never been a felony judge. A lot of people don't know that. So you got to understand, they pick and choose who they want. They pick and chose Clarence Thomas. Every one of those judges up there that are on Supreme Court were former judges. They now that don't take anything away from Clarence Thomas. He was definitely, he put his work in, but he's never been a person that really handled cases. So he was put in by Republicans, and they knew who they had. But show me a judge today that's never been an actual felony or federal judge or any. They all were federal judges. They all handled felony cases as judges. Clarence Thomas was never a judge. You there, CK? Uh-oh, I think we lost CK. Let me see. Did I hit a button or something? But y'all know CK be at work, so you know he sometimes hang up on us, but it's still showing that he's here. CK, you still there? All right, I think we lost CK, y'all. He probably had to take an order from somebody. You know, he at work sometime. Yeah, he hung up. I just noticed that he hung up. But yeah, you know, you got Clarence Thomas up there. Nobody's giving Clarence Thomas, I mean, as much heat that black folks give Clarence Thomas. I heard on the radio the other day, I got to say this. They love giving him a hard time because of who he is. He's a black man. He's married to a white woman. And then I also heard them say that on the radio when they incorporated this new thing with the LGBTQ. It's not necessarily LGBTQ. Let me take that back. It's the fact that they're protecting the rights of people marrying same sex. And then they threw in, just to be what they call this smoke screen, so you'll stay in your emotions of this, that this also includes interracial dating. Somebody explain to me, please tell me right now, whoever brought up that we trying in America to stop interracial marriages? Why was that even part of that bill? You know why? It was a distraction. It was to add, they gonna take away your rights. They don't even want whites and blacks marrying each other. That was really supposed to be the dangling carrot of the headlines. And it's the same thing they did with the Roe versus Wade. It's the same thing. It started out by saying, hey, we're taking your rights away. But they're not really taking your rights away. They're just, the federal government should not be the ones making those decisions. And that is what Supreme Court is saying. We're in the way. We don't have the right to tell people to have abortions and non-abortions. The narrative was totally changed to change your emotions to believe that the government is trying to tell you you can't have, that Roe versus Wade is being taken away from you because Roe versus Wade makes the government give you the right to have an abortion. But the government truly does not have that right in the first place. That's why it was removed, whether you want to believe it or not. They removed Roe versus Wade because the government has no right to tell women about abortion or not. But you think, because you listen to radio all day, that Republicans made this happen. Just like you're doing the school loan. Just like you think. I hear the radio tell people every day, it's them Republicans that's holding up this school loan thing. It's not just Republicans. It's not just Republicans that filed lawsuits on the Biden administration about this school, this loan forgiveness. It's not. So what kills me is when they had this way of explaining what's going on in America and they blame everything on one party. And I'm saying to myself, do you really even know what's going on here? Or is this just easy talk radio? Is this just easy to say? Because you really don't know. You saw worried about Roe versus Wade, and now here you go. You confuse the people by saying, and guess what they trying to do? They trying to also say that black and white people can't get married, so we're going to put that in the bill too. See how they trying to control us? That's what they try to say. Keep you dazed and confused and drunk on shit, and then they push the real issues through while you focused in on the third mirror over there, and you watching something sideways coming at you, and they smacking your ass in the back of the head, and you don't even get it. That's what happens. I heard somebody the other day, I ain't gonna mention no names, happened to be a host, talk so bad about the Clarence Thomas guy. And yeah, you know, what would he do when it hit his desk when they tell him, when he has to vote on if he's allowed to be married to a white woman? Well, you could say that same thing to the new lady up there, the black lady that everybody was up at arms at, who can't answer what a woman is. And you might wonder, well, why are you so in your feelings about she can't answer what a woman is? Well, because you got to understand, I got little girls that played sports. And do I want a little boy that dresses up like a girl or thinks he's a girl playing sports against my daughter? Is that really fair? It's not. I don't want my little girl getting hurt. Well, she's not that little anymore, but I remember when my little daughter was playing point guard and they were running into each other and things aren't fair. I need them to be fair. And if you got somebody that can't answer a biological question, I have to challenge if they really there for the right reason. It's a legitimate question, whether you want to admit it or not. Just get out of your feelings, get out of your emotions, and pay attention to what's going on right now. Just pay attention. And the only thing they can do to make you not pay attention is to add hate to the whole conversation, add disruption, add confusion to the thought process. It's never simple. They always have to add confusion. Anybody that adds confusion to a conversation, there's lies involved. It's a smokescreen for lies. So if you're going to say something about, oh, I wonder if the bill passes Clarence Thomas' death about him not being able to be married to a white person, how he going to figure that? Well, why didn't you say that about the black lady that just got up there who's married to a white man? Why you ain't say that shit about Kamala Harris, who's married to a white man? Why do black men get so much flack for being with white women, but black women don't get no flack from our community for marrying white men? When you talk about a white woman, when you talk about a black man with a white woman, it's all about he just trying to solidify himself in life. He wants to be somebody who he's not. But when you look at a sister with a white man, it's all about love. We can't control who we fall in love with. I've listened to it. Why is it that all of the people in this administration, all the black people that he bring up, got a white counterpart? Why is it that you go free a basketball player who's part of the LGBT community, and then a day later you sign that LGBTQ, the same-sex marriage thing? You don't think that was like that? You don't think the trumpets was playing? You don't think that was a trumpet play for what was coming up? That ain't me hating. That's just me seeing what I really see. I see what it's written on the wall. I ain't got no problem. I didn't told you I ain't got no problem with LGBTQ. That ain't even the issue. The issue is you're not gonna fleece me in my face, dog, and I ain't gonna say some shit. Okay, I'm way too swift for that. You're not gonna fleece me. You can fleece that shit on somebody else, but that shit ain't gonna work on me. That's why I wanted to play that video for y'all about them guns. He said it. These are not my words. Guns are an epidemic in America. We are an international embarrassment. That's his words. So what do you think the international world thinks of us now when we let the number one arms dealer of the world out of jail and gave him to one of the people that he talk about the most as being a war criminal? He talk about as being a devil, the worst person in the world. He's talking about Putin when he say that, but you give him an arms dealer who gave weapons to the Congo of Africa to fight amongst each other, to build armies. He sold guns and weapons to the drug cartels. He funded the Taliban's gun project. These are the people that we fight. These are the people that saturate our streets with guns as well. Yeah. But we made a trade. And ain't nobody gonna talk about that shit because they know if I talk about that, it might get deep down into where some of these guns come from. Nobody gonna question that shit. I know I'm not in those circles. I'll never be in those circles. I'm not trying to be in them circles. I'm an independent brother who done things the way he did it. And now I'm not saying they dislike me personally, but I can tell you this right now. They don't like me. They don't like me. The reason why they don't like me is because I don't play they bullshit games. I know how to move the needle. And I'm talking about the needle is I know what to do to make these changes happen. You ain't heard none of them talking about them Hamilton. You ain't heard none of them talking about that Hamilton County tax raise now, have you? Remember that talk yesterday? They still ain't say they quiet as a mouse. You can hear a flea pissing on the planet Mars. They quiet. Anybody know why they quiet? Because what they gonna say? We voted all them people in there, and the first move you make to the county is we got to pay higher taxes? You think that's what I voted you for? Get out of here. Peace and love to everybody. That's my time, man. I got to get up out of here, man. As much as I want to stay, I just can't stay any longer. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I'll try to make it on time. Peace and love to everybody. One.
There you go. I like that clap. Woo! Not bad to be light-skinned, huh?
Recognize I ain't playing ho. If you violate off the top trick, you gotta go. Out of hell, getting a lot of shit, and I'm about to flip. Now I think it's time to show you bitches who you fucking with. DJ, that's the name, and I came to bring the tank. And I on my chest, got me busting at you lemon lane. You ain't know you fucking with a street nigga. From the gutter, pimp type / drug dealer. Born and raised in that Memphis, Tennessee. Before it's said and done, you bitches gon' remember me. It's only the beginning. I got a lot to say. It's been a long time, and you got hell to pay. Ain't no love, ho. Just bring it through the door. I ball none, let my nuts hang through the floor. So if you want some, this is your death wish. Better come correct because I came to break you off, bitch. Whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick, get him, 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 whoop that trick. Woo!
There you go. I like that clap. Woo! Not bad to be light-skinned, huh?
Make these suckers recognize I ain't playing ho. If you violate off the top trick, you gotta go. Out of hell, getting a lot of shit, and I'm about to flip. Now I think it's time to show you bitches who you fucking with. DJ, that's the name, and I came to bring the tank. And I on my chest, got me busting at you lemon lane. You ain't know you fucking with a street nigga. From the gutter, pimp type / drug dealer. Born and raised in that Memphis, Tennessee. Before it's said and done, you bitches gon' remember me. It's only the beginning. I got a lot to say. It's been a long time, and you got hell to pay. Ain't no love, ho. Just bring it through the door. I bar none, let my nuts hang through the floor. So if you want some, this is your